Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I teach all the things design and typography so you can better your lettering skills. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to create a custom font entirely from scratch. It's super easy and I promise that anybody can do it. So today we're going to make our own font using both Calligrapher and Procreate. You'll be able to create any style of font you want. So this can be serif, sans serif, this could be cute and bubbly or more geometric and pointy, or even your own handwriting if you want. This is totally up to you. The only thing you can't really do using this particular method is a script font, as the Calligrapher app doesn't allow you to connect your letters together. It's a very basic app that doesn't let you play with vectors, but I still think it's a great way to be introduced to type design if you've never designed a typeface before, and if vectorizing an entire typeface from scratch seems a little bit overwhelming. And I've used this method for creating fonts for my YouTube channel, for example, which was super quick and easy. I also find it personally useful sometimes if I need to quickly test out how a font looks like before actually creating a real font using a typeface design app such as Glyph. So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you exactly how I created this font from start to finish. Then I'll be showing you how to export your font so you can install it on any app. So make sure you watch till the end. So without further ado, let's get started. So before we start drawing anything in Procreate, I want you to take a moment to do a little bit of research to actually figure out which style you want to go for. I recommend you browse through websites such as myfonts.com, for example. So this website is a great website because it has a whole bunch of different typeface classification you can browse through. So for example, if you wanted to have a look at a slab serif typeface, you could browse through a whole bunch of different slab serif typefaces for inspiration. I would also recommend that you browse through Pinterest as well, for example, as it has a lot of different style, and this is great for inspiration as well. Then I want you to simply open a blank canvas in your Procreate. So I'm gonna just make my canvas A4. Here you're going to start drawing some letters. You can experiment with different letter forms, try different style, and really don't hesitate to be creative and step out of your comfort zone if possible, as this might help you come up with great ideas. When you do that, just remember that your letter forms will have to be quite simple. As I was saying earlier, Calligrapher is a quite limited app that won't let you edit your vector letter forms, so keep them very basic. Here you can use any brush, just play around and draw letter forms. I would recommend turning on the guide, draw the same letter as many times as possible until you're happy with it. So once you've done enough sketches and you know exactly which style you want to go for, we can move on to the next step. All right, now let's go to calligrapher.com. I have provided the link in the description below. Here you will have to actually create an account, which is super simple and it's free. So let's go ahead and do that. Once you've done it, click Start App. This will take you to this page, and this is where we will actually create our template. All we're gonna do is simply follow those instructions, which is super simple. So let's just click Create a Template. Here you can see there's a whole bunch of different alphabet that you can select. So we're gonna select minimal English, and minimal number, and minimal punctuation. So as you guys can see, I'm using the free version, which is only allowing me to create 79 characters. It's totally fine for you to upgrade and download the full version, but for this video, I'm only going to use the free version. So I will need to actually bring it down to 75 characters. I'm just going to try and get rid of a couple of characters that I know I won't be necessarily using. So I'm just going to get rid of slash, get rid of the equal sign, maybe the percent, and the semicolon. All right, I have a whole bunch of characters that I'm happy with and that I'm going to design. So now I'm going to click download template. Here you want to download it either as a PDF or PNG. I'm going to download mine as a PNG. You can decide to increase the size of your cells, which will make sense in a minute. I'm going to keep mine to the default setting because it's just fine. I'm going to keep draw helpline. It's very important because it's going to give you the typography guide. So the baseline, X height, ascend the line and descend the line. So you can also decide to activate the characters as background, which will actually just show you the actual character shape in a very low opacity gray in the background. So I would recommend that if you don't feel too confident drawing letter forms from memory. It is quite tricky, so it is totally up to you. Maybe just download both just in case. You can download it as many times as you want. So let's just go ahead and click download. So you can click download your template and you can see it's a zip file. Click download and this has saved it to my files. So I'm just going to go into my files on my iPad and you can see it here in the download folder. So I'm just going to unzip it by clicking on it. Let's open up that folder and you can see it's created 2 templates. So let's view them. So this is page 1 and you can see it has all of the special characters, all of the numerals, and these are all the uppercases and lowercase, and obviously there wasn't enough room on one page, so they've added it on the second page here. So that's the remaining of the lowercases. So this is your template and this is where we are going to be drawing. So let's zoom in so you can have a closer look. So for example, this is where you will be drawing your uppercase A, and you can see the lines. They're the same in each individual boxes. Pretty much all you need to remember is that this line over here is actually your baseline. So this space in between these 2 lines will be the height of your lowercase letter, and your uppercase letter would be all the way up to here. So this is the guides that I provided. Obviously every typeface will be different and unique. It might be that the height of your uppercases are a lot taller and your X height is a lot shorter, but for what we're doing today, I would recommend just sticking to those lines as we are still learning. So just stick to those for now and it will make the whole process a lot easier. All right, so let's move on to the next step and start drawing. Also guys, I have provided a brush that you can use to create your letter forms. You can use absolutely any brush you want. The brush that I've given you is free and this is the one I have used to create this typeface, and I just think it's nice because it's quite bold, it's a little bit inky, and it will create these rough edges, which is kind of nice because like I said, we can't edit the vectors, so I wouldn't recommend going for a crisp and clean look. You want to keep that rough look, almost like handwritten look. I reckon this brush called Ink Brush will be perfect for that. So you can download it in the description for free. So within your files folder, I want you to open each PNG with Procreate. So if you click on the actual PNG within your files, you can click open with and tap Procreate. And let's do the same with the second one. Click open with Procreate. All right, so my 2 PNGs are here in my Procreate. So I'm just gonna click on the first one and I'm gonna start drawing. But before I start drawing, you want to make sure you are not drawing on the PNG itself, just in case you need to make changes. So let's just go ahead and create a new layer on top. But just to be safe, trust me guys, let's create a second layer on top. You really don't want to accidentally draw on the actual template. It's just a pain. You want to be able to erase and move letter forms because we're going to be reusing bits and pieces. So it's very important that you're working on a separate layer. So let's go ahead and grab my ink brush. I am actually going to start with my uppercase first. So let's start with the uppercase A. So as I was saying, this line is your baseline. So this is where your letter is going to sit. This line is your X height. This is the height of your lowercase x, and this is your ascender height. So this is where your uppercase will end. Just keep that in mind and make sure you follow those guides for every single letter form. So yeah, let's go ahead and start drawing. So try and draw the letter forms you have been practicing drawing, and you can redraw them until you're happy with it. You're also more than welcome to reuse the same shape. So if I wanted to use the C as a template for creating my O, I would just click copy and paste and move this on this cell, lower the opacity of this C, create a new layer on top, and then I can draw my O so it actually matches the shape. So the reason why I recommend drawing all of your letters in here, particularly if you're drawing like a handwritten style, is so that you have the exact same stroke for all of your letter forms, and they all have the same size, they all have the same proportion. So it is a lot easier to keep everything nice and consistent. Now let's move on to the lowercase. So as I was saying, this is the height of your lowercase. Make sure it matches the actual other letter forms. Like, you don't want to make them too small or too big. They have to have the correct proportion. So I think this size is just fine. So I'm just gonna go on the second page so I can keep going with the lowercase. Great, let's move on to the special characters. Of course, feel free to have fun and be creative. Your ampersand can be as creative as you wish. So this is a comma, so make sure you are sitting on the baseline. This is your hyphen, so somewhere in the middle. Some people put it here. It's totally up to you. It will depend on the style of your font, obviously. Make sure your zero is quite distinct from your uppercase O if possible. So here you could just use the A from your lowercase, but I'm just going to draw mine from scratch again. Great, and I am happy with that. So we can move on to the next step and upload it to Calligrapher. So now we're going to export our final alphabet as a PNG. So I'm just going to go to my actions button, click share, and I'm going to share it as a PNG. I'm just going to save it to my files. And I'm going to do the same for the second one. So if I go back to my file, I can see my two PNG files are here. So I'm going to go back to Calligrapher now. I am going to click on my fonts. And obviously I don't have any fonts yet, so I need to click upload template. Choose file, browse through my files and select. I'm going to do that twice, so make sure I select both. So make sure you've added both of your PNG files in there, and then you're going to click upload template. And there you go. This is where you can check that you have done all of your characters, you haven't missed anything, and everything looks okay. If you need to make any changes, by all means do so. If you think that something needs to be adjusted, you can. I, for example, think this 7 is a little bit too bold, but I will keep it like that for now. If you're happy with your glyphs, just click add characters to your font. And here you're gonna click build font. And of course you have to give it a name. I'm gonna call mine Cracker. And click build. And you can see what it looks like. It's awesome. So you can click size comparison, so it will compare it to other typefaces. You can actually change the size and have a look at what it looks like from up close. And you can see here that it actually is providing you with both a TTF file or an OTF file, so a true type font or an open type font. There's a bit of a difference between them. They're pretty much the same, but I would recommend going with the open type file. Let's just download the open type file. You can click on it and it will ask you to download it, and you will save it into your files. And there it is. Okay, so now all we have to do is actually install this OTF file to our device so we can use it in any app such as Procreate, for example. So if you were to install it to Procreate, you can just click copy and then go on my iPad. You should have a Procreate folder which is called fonts. Here you could just paste this font, and then if you go into your Procreate and want to type some text, you can see that my font called Cracker has just appeared here. So let's go ahead and change. There you go, and you can type anything you want. Obviously, as you can see, this is not a perfect font and you are unable to obviously adjust the kerning of your letter form. So I would recommend doing that afterwards. So you would duplicate your layer and rasterize that layer, and then you could select just 2 letters and kind of fix the kerning. There is a second way to add a typeface to Procreate, and it is found here. So you could just click here, import font, and that's where you could import the actual OTF file we just downloaded. If you wanted to install your font on your iPad so that it can be used on GoodNotes, for example, you would need to go into Settings, General, and then click Fonts, and then you would need to actually download an app that installs fonts from the App Store. So in the App Store, I would recommend the app called iFont. So once you've downloaded iFont, just open it and you're gonna click Import, and you are simply going to open your font and click Install. Just click Continue, and you're going to click Allow, and you can see that it's downloaded a profile. So now you actually need to go back into your settings, and the profile has just appeared here. So you're going to click Profile Downloaded, and you're going to click Install. Obviously, it's going to ask for your passcode. Install. And that's it. So now if I go back into GoodNote, for example, you should be able to use your font. And that's it. So now you know how to make a basic custom font in under an hour, and hopefully this will encourage you to go ahead and create more fonts and even sell them. If you do sell them, I do recommend using a proper font making app. There are plenty out there, but my personal preference is the Glyph app. And if you guys would like to see a tutorial on how to use the Glyph app, please just let me know as well and I can make a video. So if you've enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, and of course if you have any question regarding this tutorial, just let me know in the comments as well. I'll see you guys in my next video. And if you want to learn more with me, make sure to check out my online lettering courses, 3D Letters Masterclass, Chalk Lettering Masterclass, Retro Sign Masterclass, and Textile Lettering Masterclass. All of the links are in the description below.